Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to talk about 15 secrets within Palworld's latest patch 0.2.06. There is actually some things that the developers did not include in the patch notes, so I thought, hey, why not show you guys what's going on and maybe it will interest you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. The first surprising change about this update was the character creation, and what the developers did this time is they've added some new hair options. If you check here, you can see that this one right here is the last one from the previous update, but the last two hairstyles here are completely new. Coming up at number 2, we are going to check out a new option here for the Crusher. If you guys do not remember this, there was only a few options, but now there are a few brand new ones to take a look at. Now you can actually convert your Pal souls. Let's say that you need to grab a higher one. Well, you can absolutely do that now. You can actually convert one down if you need a medium soul or one that's lesser than that. But you have your options. You will need to make sure that you have enough of those medium souls to create a large soul. And same thing for the other souls. For example, if you need to convert down, what you can do is use your large soul to convert down to a medium soul and medium soul to a normal Pal soul. So it's up to you on how you want to do this, but yeah, this is a new option for the Crusher. Number 3, when you do explore a dungeon and you open up the chest at the end, you will automatically receive a innovative technical manual as well as this right here, which is a training manual. It's fair to note that the developers did talk about these items specifically, but they did not mention how you could pick them up. Previously, before this patch, when you would open up a dungeon chest, it would not contain these items. Instead, it would sometimes contain a technology point manual of some sort, but with this now, you can always pick up one. Number 4, the developers have added some random events to Palworld. For example, you're going to see right here that this merchant is getting ganged up on by a bunch of syndicate thugs. What I'm going to do right here is take them all out, then talk to this merchant and see if he has anything new to say. Surprisingly enough, there is a new dialogue, so let's go ahead and see what it says. Thanks for saving me. Why not buy something while you're here? Relax. Our Pal trades are legit. And you will also notice that on the bottom here, it says My Pal at the top left corner for each Pal icon. This means that if your Pals are somehow deleted, you can actually recover them from this Pal merchant. And no, it does not have to be this merchant specifically. You can go to any Pal merchant and recover your deleted Pals. And so with both number 4 and number 5 out of the way, we're now going to move on and talk about another random event. But this one comes from a Reddit user. This member right here named Kurakami11 had this to say in the Reddit post. New NPC type, newbie Pal tamer. What's interesting about this NPC is that you can actually pick up a random Pal from him. For example, right here, this is what this Pal will say in return once you do interact with him. Oh, now that's a sight. You're a Pal tamer too, aren't you? My goal is to become the strongest Pal tamer. Care to test your skills in a duel? Following the island customs, it would be a fight to the death. That means we'll both be putting our lives on the line. Well, wanna fight? Glad you said that. Let's make it a great battle. Then once you do defeat him, you can actually take his Pal, which is just phenomenal. Can we have more events like this, or possibly when they do create the next island? And for you guys out there that are not aware about that, check out my 30 changes patch video. Recommend that one. But they are going to add some new islands, some new Pals and new buildings and a bunch of new stuff, which I am so excited for. And now at number 6, we have another random event here, and this is the last one. This Reddit member named Bounding Border has this to say. New NPC ? Shady Pal Merchant. And if you take a look at the center here, you can see that it says Shady Pal Merchant. And yes, by the way, this merchant has a unique dialogue as well, and it's kind of funny and interesting at the same time. The Shady Pal merchant's response is right here, and he says, I don't give a damn about what happens to this trash. All I care about are my goods. Go on, try and put a scratch on them. I'll make you pay good. And that right there is pretty sketchy. In my honest opinion, I have a feeling this might be a syndicate member or somebody under disguise. Or on the other hand here, it could be simply just a vendor that hates his job, which might just be the case. We are now going to move on towards number 8 and number 9. This one includes the sand dunes over here, and the location you need to locate is the dune shelter. Once you are here, go ahead and enter inside the building and you will see a few merchants. The one that we do want to talk to is the one on the left, and that merchant will sell you a multi-climate undershirt. The developers did mention this in the patch notes and have stated that there was this item, but there was no talks on how to pick it up. But right now, if you head over towards Dune Shelter, you can pick it up. So there is one more secret, and it's not with these merchants, but it's with a random merchant that will randomly come to you. Not necessarily interact with you, but you will need to come up to it when you do see it running around. You're probably thinking, what's the big deal now? What's the secret with this merchant? You can actually pick up some Pal Fluid now. You can buy Pal Fluid. Some of you might be thinking, well, that's not a big deal. I can just farm that. But it's cool to have that option, right? This right here was discovered by Eternal Echo 510 over on Reddit. This user says Pal Fluid is now purchasable. And again, this cannot be found just from any merchant. You will need to encounter this one out in the wild. There was some talks down below, and this is what one of the members asked. From where? And the original poster said, it was a wandering merchant that came to my base after the update. So of course I needed to make sure he felt comfortable and ensured a permanent stay in my base. This right here is a great tip, so make sure when you do come across this merchant that you do capture him right away. Okay, so moving on towards number 10, we are going to pick up the Ring of Mercy, which can be purchased at level 19. Head over, craft the Ring of Mercy. And what's interesting about this one specifically is that it says this right here. The wearer's attack will not reduce the target's health below 1. So you might be thinking with this, it's only restricted to the actual person, right? The character. But it's not. Because at first, when you try to use your pal normally, it's not going to do what it says on the ring, right? But you need to hop on top of your mount, then it will activate the Ring of Mercy. So you will see that right here in this clip. And side note, you will see some random wood just randomly appear. This is because of a glitch, so do not worry about that. So let's move on towards the last and final secret here. What we're about to go over is highly important, and you should absolutely know about this because it might just affect your server. This user right here named Kiro Ryu1 had this to say. New server, best API security flaw. Update, this is not exactly a flaw, but an insecure endpoint. A proxy with TLS and rate limiting mitigates this issue. Too long didn't read. Do not expose the REST API to the internet. Do not port forward. Default port is 8212. Then continues on to say the new REST API only uses basic access authentication with HTTP. This means that the username and passwords are not encrypted, so man-in-the-middle attack and people on your network could see your password. There's also seems to be no rate limiting, so it's very easy to brute force the password. I was able to easily brute force my own server in testing. And that right there is the last and final secret. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have not, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and make sure that you are following the Twitter. You are joined up over at the Discord. And with that being said, thank you guys once more, and I'll see you all in the next one.